So, hello everyone, welcome to the review of episode 169, and in the reaction I titled it wrong first. So yeah, this is the reaction, right? And first titled 168, but whatever, you know, it's bad copy pasta there. But anyway, so let's talk about Asta's mom, right? But probably more next week. I guess the final episode is gonna be about Asta's mommy and potentially father, but it has to be Asta's mom, right? It seems. Asta with boob, you know. It's Asta with oppai. She looks incredibly similar to Asta. As I said earlier, we saw in the opening and so on, and some more little, you know, short bit of her. And yeah, it is Asta with oppai. It's certainly his mother, right? But what is more interesting, I think, then, and this is a little bit, I mean, seeing the preview and so on, right? Seeing the explosive father, so to speak. But that was in my reaction. But I really think it's Asta's dad, right? Like, I'm just gonna say, it's Asta's dad. It's Asta half demon. That would be my thing, right? Because, I mean, we see this demon. There's also Damien and so on. He clearly recognized Asta. You know, it's the son of like this woman he liked, right? I mean, I see the preview, and she clearly meets him in the preview. So that is a little bit given here as a poster in the viewport. But still, you know, he looks exactly like Asta, man. It just seems kind of weird that he clearly knew Asta's mommy, and then she happens to have a kid that looks exactly like the demon friend she had, you know what I mean? It really feels like, even if he looked kind of young when they first met her in the preview, it's also a little bit seen in the preview though, but still, even though he looked kind of young, and looked exactly like Asta basically when he was young, right? So again, looks exactly like Asta. I mean, obviously, of course, his horn, or you know, he has the horn, he has the black eyes, right? He has the black. His eyes are red, right? And then the actual area around them are black. You know, he's a demon, right? So he's a demon race, but otherwise, he really looks exactly like Asta. I mean, yeah, remove the horns, right? Remove the horns, remove the eyes. That is Asta, man. And that he then, I suppose, that knows and liked Asta's mom, right? And she happens to give birth to a kid that looks exactly like her demon. Come on, it just feels like I'm gonna guess Asta's half demon then, and of course, as Asta said, he doesn't want to hurt me. I can feel his key. He's trying to just pretend to hurt me. He's just a sundry, you know. He's buckegås. He's just sundering me. He's just pretending to be a bad boy. He actually loves me, you know. I can feel his fatherly love for me, right? But I will say it here. Maybe I'm wrong, right? I'm just guessing on just seeing how he looks exactly like Asta, how he knew his mom and so on. But next episode, we're probably gonna get the truth of that, or at least probably the truth about Asta's mom, I guess. That'll be the final episode then, kind of giving us and then they're gonna announce like if a movie coming out. There's gonna be a break for half a year or whatever, right? So we're gonna get something next week probably explaining what's gonna happen, right, with the anime and so on. But I mean, sure, I might be wrong. What I think is gonna happen is that next episode is probably gonna be mommy backstory, and then it probably will maybe imply that he's the dad. That'd be kind of like guessing. But anyway. All that being said, you know, I really hope he's the father, honestly, because not just because it kind of fits how he looks and so on. I want to be right. I want to be right with my theories, man. That's the only reason why I know. But I would like that because so spoilers now for other animes. Spoilers for other animes here, right? Yeah. So you like Naruto? No, but you know what I mean. Like it's a very typical thing in other animes, or Kaisen or whatever, like going right now and so on. Right? It's a lot of animes where, and of course Bleach, not exactly the same thing, but Bleach and so on, right? Where they have a demon inside of them, right? I would argue that Bleach is a little different, right? Yes, he has his hollow inside of him, but it's not really exactly the same thing, because in Naruto, and he kind of, you know, gets it infused to him, right? And Kaisen in a similar way then gets the demon inside of him. In Bleach, it's more like he's born with that thing, so it's a little different. But anyway, I mean, they're all kind of the same, right? You have the animes, very popular shonen animes. The main character has a demon side of him, right? Kind of a trope by now, right? Of course, we all know that. And Black Clover here, obviously, has the demon side of him. So that's the reason I'm thinking, honestly, mainly what I'm hoping my theory is right. I'm hoping that this demon guy actually is his father, because yeah, it would make it slightly different, right? You know what I mean? Like we have, for example, then Naruto, right? Probably the most famous example of it, right? Kyuubi is just a random tailed beast demon, right? Of course, the Kyuubi has more Cash says it to him later and backstory and all that stuff, right? But the relation between the QB and Naruto, you know, yeah, I mean Naruto's mom is kind of involved in that, but it's not really, you know, like he's no father that. Yeah, no, Naruto looks very similar to his father as well. So no, but you know what I mean. Like that is never, yeah. So I would hope something that, I guess Bleach, you can arguably say that the Hollow is kind of like his father because his other power is actually his grandpa and so on. And Bleach is really weird. Bleach has a really weird team because, you know, he's everything. So Bleach is very confusing. But in the sense, but anyway, yeah, I would like that, right? If it is demon, if it's both. Because it'd be a little cool twist to it, I suppose, right? He's both possessed by a demon, and the demon also happens to be his dad, right? So it's like, yeah, like, you know, his dad met his mom, right? They smashed, she got a kid, right? She died, probably, next episode probably spends how his mom died, and maybe protecting him, who knows? But then the preview cast, like, she's like, no, don't touch my demon, bro, you know? So that might be it, right? And then, whatever, later on, Asta could be possessed, he possessed Asta, right? Because it's his son, right? I mean, it does make sense, though, that he would be, like, watching out for his boy, right? Then when Asta kind of opened up so he could be possessed, right, later on, when he got to the Grimoire and so on, he would be like, oh yeah, perfect time to, you know, protect my son, right? So, yeah, like, it would make sense. I think definitely it would make sense if he is Asta's father. Just from like that alone, he'd be like, I want to protect my son, right? So, but I hope I'm right there, because, again, I think that makes a little more, a little slightly different, right, than how it usually is. Anyway, otherwise the episode, of course, that it is Nat's home, right? Of course, this demon place is Nat's home. He has a brother there, definitely, that's scratched over. So that could be him, or there's something like a twin. They mentioned twins earlier too with, you know, the F store. But it's something like that, right? I mean, it's clearly like two of him, right? That one face is scratched over and his parents, but he clearly has a brother, or he is the brother, perhaps the other way around. I mean, it could be that because Jack is like, you don't have this magic, so the older brother might have the magic that he knew or whatever. But I'm just saying, I mean, it's obviously there's like a twin thing going on there, right? Or yeah, come on, it's obviously a twin thing going on there in that photo. But so that could be what Jack, you know, Jack might knew the older guy, right? Something like that. But anyway, that being said, obviously his fathers are somehow, or parents, I mean, Nat's parents are like clearly, I'll say demon worshipper. I don't know. I mean, there's no way that he made it places by himself, right? Like, we have his like basement, his home, his family's basement, and they have all this demon stuff and this, you know, ritual and so on. So his parents probably were, or not just his parents, but his ancestors were probably some kind of demonic people or whatever, right? Using demon power, something. So this is probably a family thing for him, something like that. I have a very hard time seeing that he's the only one that built that stuff down there. No, come on. It's gonna be something that Nat's family is some kind of demon and Clover clan or whatever, right? Some kind of demon nobles or whatever. He said they were nobles, so they probably were using it in secret, right? Yeah. His family probably got, the house probably got destroyed because someone, you know, figured out that his parents were using demon magic, something like that. Right? But anyway, I was talking about, of course, Noelle. I love the oppai theme with Noelle. She's like, let's do it! And her like, and the oppai just flew out like massive. They're like, this exploded in size. You know, they was like, and they were very, very big. They looked ridiculous. Come on, it was ridiculous, that scene. But anyway, I think this is to me is a little bit, you know, it's tropey. I mean, I do love that Noelle is always just a very, you know, determined, strong woman, right? Very good female character. For example, 10 times better than Mikasa, for example. No, but I just had his comments. People like, how can you make fun of Mikasa with Eren if you take Titan, right? She's just a strong woman. I was like, what strong woman? Mikasa has no personality. This is a strong woman. Noelle is a strong woman. Melo is a strong woman. Come on, most strong woman, yeah. Mikasa with no personality. No, she's not a strong woman. This is a strong woman. Has, you know, her own purpose and her own willpower and so on. This is a strong woman. But anyway, yeah. Noelle, of course, being a very strong woman, being a badass female character, wants to get stronger. And that is as expected, right? As expected, she will get stronger. But I do feel that this thing, though, it is not that good, I feel, right? I said it last week too. I was like, well, they're probably gonna get trained by the elves then, and that's gonna be probably a little cheap, right? So I do feel that it's a little cheap here, right? Definitely. I'm not surprised though. I mean, I said it last week too. That they're obviously gonna get trained by the elves, so it's very, very clear that the elves are gonna, you know, improve their powers now, right? With some elf magic, right? Like very, very clear, very, very clear. But all that being said, you know, I don't feel that's good of a storyline, you know, because they trained for 6 months, right? He says it too. We train for this many months. How much stronger can you get in like 2-3 days? And she's like, I'll do it anyway. Teach me your freaking elf magic. It's like, okay, fine, but you go in the ultimate route then. But you know what I mean? It does feel a bit cheap that Noel, Mimosa, Nero, they all lost, right? And after training for so long, and then they're gonna meet the elves now, and the elves are gonna make them a lot stronger, I guess. The elves are gonna power them up a lot, right? By just 2-3 days, right? So it does feel a bit cheap, right? Doesn't it? Come on, I can't be the only guy that feels that they trained for half a year, and then now in less than half a week, they're gonna get even stronger. But its last 3 days of the training is gonna be so more important than all the other days, right? So yeah, not a big fan of that, but it was very, very clear that this direction we're gonna go from last week. So we saw the elves entering last week, right? I knew this was gonna be what's gonna happen, right? But if it's silly, I think that Asta works better, right? I mean, he has that again earlier, the kind of tropey, classic. You know, he has a demon side of him. He's maybe even part demon now. He's half demon, perhaps even, right? Maybe his papa is a demon, right? So he's even half demon, perhaps, actually, right? And so on. But yeah, even if he's pure human, whatever, he has the demon side of him, and he can unlock the power, right? And yeah, it's kind of tropey, but that thing has like it's still explainable by the logic of the world, right? That he can like improve quickly by unlocking the next demon step, right? By befriending his demon. Like he's like, hey, Dad, let's be friends, right? Yeah. That still has a, you know, that still makes sense from the logical. It's a trope, but it makes sense. But the Noel part, Mimosa getting stronger, Nero getting so much stronger, that doesn't make any sense to me, right? I mean, I'm sure you're gonna explain that, the elf magic is very powerful, and then the final teaches her true elf magic, she can like do phoenix water or something, yeah, whatever. It's gonna be something silly, right? So it can be like, I'm now a bird water character or something. Who knows, right? I mean, but still, I feel a little bit, it's like, yeah, that doesn't make much sense that Noel is gonna empower up and be like 10 times stronger after these 2-3 days, right? Whatever, you get my point. Yes, I'm a little bit like, I kind of wish that he was like, no, we can't do it. But no, it is what it is, and I guess they're gonna get a lot stronger because the elves have some kind of secret technique they're gonna make them stronger. And also, lastly, we just saw that Nero did save the princess Titia, and she has alive. It's a twin thing again, they're right. You know, one of them died, that you know, right? The other one didn't die then, and made more elves apparently in this place. But those elves, they look very elvish, but they have to be so much human. It's when I say that they have to be so much human, because I mean, supposedly she had, you know, she had a kid, right? And that kid got, you know, grew up, right? And got children, and you know, it makes sense. But that her son or daughter, right, has to have, there's a half human, half elf already, and then they have to, the elves are dead, right? So then the next person is a quarter elf. You know what I mean? And then it's like it's been like 500 years. So you would think that most of those elves would be like incredibly very little elf. They should be very much more human, unless her kids met more elves there. But that doesn't seem how it is. It's a lot more like there was the last elf alive, right? Like her child was like the last elf blood, and was a half elf already. So that seems to be very that bloodline should be they can't be that much elf. But anyway, that's really guys strap. Of course, next week we have the final episode 170, and I guess we're gonna explain Asta's mom probably, or maybe even his dad. And hopefully I'm right, because again, I think there'll be a nice twist to it, that the demon is actually his father, right? And he's like, I want to protect my son, you know. You probably won't immediately. I'll say this thing, even if it's true that it's his dad, I think there's no way that his demon dad is going to tell him that. He's going to tell him that he probably loves his mom, but probably don't tell him that it's actually his father, right? So yeah, even if it is his father, there's no way he's going to tell Asta that. No. This is classic demon dad. He won't tell him the truth. He'd be like, oh yeah, I love your mom as my best friend. Your mom was my companion. You know, we didn't do anything else. She's my best friend. You know, no matter if it's true or not, I'm sure he's just gonna tell him the truth. It's be like, yeah, I mean, I knew your mother intimately. Yeah, I knew your mom quite well. You know.